Hello everyone, it's the Sebastian speaking here. Today I would just like put some more details on the presentation I did at NoHat this year, and also the writing that I've done on my blog speaking about 5G core network essay intrusions. Alright, so follow me. So this year at NoHat, I've been presenting the bug hunting in 5G near devices and networks, and as promised, I wanted also to give you some more details about that. So yeah, you have probably just saw that, for example, I was using, for the 5G SA networks, I'm using like an Amarisoft GNB, and with this GNB, I'm able to actually trap some devices, some targets that are here, especially targets that support the SA mode, right? So if everything goes fine, normally you should be able to catch, for example, your device, your 5G device. As you can see, there's like the 5G in here, but yeah, the provider is not, a classical provider, because actually this is a provider that is actually a provider that I'm broadcasting in here. And then using our software, you're able, for example, to, you can inspect what is going on, for example, in the MME, in the NetB, in the MBMS, in the EMS. I mean, the thing is that, yeah, in 5G, there's like sometimes no sense to have like these names because they are actually applied for 4G, right? But yeah, it's actually maybe people from Amerisoft got lazy to just change everything and also provide a GUI which is like much more 5G relevant. But yeah, still we can have like some information of what is going on in here. So for example, in the NetB, which is like the GNB in our example, right? So we can just see what is going on. For example, so we can see, for example, what is going on the radio side in here. And then if we can see that, for example, someone was doing a request and also did a registration in here. And so we can inspect what is going on and also for the capabilities that the phone has. But this is not, the only things that you can actually have, because you can, for example, also have like some more details. So for example, you can just like after doing that, as I show, for example, in here, you can, for example, if you have like a specific device, you can actually also capture the communication that is going between the GNB and your device. But some of the question I have, and especially also with my clients, is, for example, this is kind of cheating, because also we need to provide a customized SIM card in order to make the device connect to our station. This is true, but also this is, for us, it is just like a shortcut, because as a shortcut, you are able to directly see what is going on. If, for example, the communication is right properly, is it clear text or not, and are, for example, the key is secure or not. So yeah, there's like plenty of things, and you can also inspect for secrets that are going on between, for example, the GNB and your device. But yeah, now imagine that, for example, you don't have like, for example, this kind of access. You cannot provide as an attacker a customized SIM card. What you can do is that you can actually intrude a 5G core network, and this is my point in this video. So let's just like go, for example, in here and remember what was possible also in the past and also today, is that, for example, you can go to Shodan like that. You can query for GPRS in here, and you can find like, plenty of GPRS tunneling protocol on which you can, for example, use some tools from Osmocom in order to emulate, for example, the connection to the GPRS tunneling protocol and get also tunnel directly to it. So like that, you have like an IP. I mean, you are routed to the core network at some points, and you can start, for example, doing nmaps, etc., and reach some particular, network. So yeah, this is actually, and same thing can happen for 4G and 5G networks, because actually This is also something that I wrote about, for example, in the blog. There was also a previous blog which was made also with my team in the past, like 2 years ago. But in this blog, I've also showed, for example, how we can do that in SA mod network. So yeah, generally what you have today is the NSA, which means non-standalone, and non-standalone means that the 5G networks, the 5G antenna will need a 4G antenna to work. So yeah, you need actually two antennas to make it work for the 5G today. So the 5G antenna as well as the 4G antenna. So yeah, I'm just like taking some shortcuts to say that. But what you should expect, for example, for 2022 or 2023 in new country is generally this kind of networks. It's probably maybe in China this is the case. I don't know actually what is the status in China, but in Europe actually we only have like the NSA networks growing for now. But yeah, then when we will have like the 5G networks, we'll have a completely different core, which will also allow us, for example, to have like much more capacity. I mean, for the operator, of course, but it will also increase the speed rate for us, and it will be like very considerable because for now, as you should know, is that only the radio side is actually a little bit boosted, but we need also the core network to be updated in order to reach the world capacity that 5G is promising actually. So actually we just have like a little update, so we don't see like very much a lot of progress using 5G. I mean it is like maybe faster, a little bit faster, but not as it is supposed to be. Um, so yeah, the attack, I mean, if you want, for example, I mean, if you look at the article, I'm showing you some attacks, but I will also maybe just like illustrate it in the video, and this is my point in here. So let's do that. As you can see, there's like many functions in here, and especially if we want, for example, to attack the core network from the outside, there's like the user plane function, which is in here, that could be like very interesting for our attackers. So for example, we just like can imagine our attacker in here, and so our attacker will have, for example, to find a way from the internet to go to the data network, and they try to reach the UPF at the moment. And so for that, there are some ways actually, because for example, in the 5G cybersecurity challenge that we got, I mean targeting the PWC and Alto challenge, we needed, for example, in that challenge, to reach some devices that were in here, but we needed also to attack from the outside. But yeah, in this challenge, also the organizer provided us some accesses, some SSH accesses, but we wanted to do the exercise kind differently, because what we wanted is also to look of a way to maybe perform this attack from the outside. So what we have done is that we have just like used the wolves who is command like that, and that way we have been able, for example, to get some range, and with that range we have performed some scans, and with these scans we have also discovered some interfaces, and that was very cool, because with those interfaces we have been able, for example, in here, just yeah, to see that yeah, there was like also a weak password, but yeah, apart from the weak password, there was also a directory traversal that you could also exploit to directly go into this interface, and allows you also to get some nice information, like including, for example, you could get like the MSIs, but you could also get the keys that were used, and also the OPC, of course. So like that, you have all the secrets in order, for example, to trap a device, for example, a device which is using the operator's networks, actually. So if you imagine that, for example, you are like you are using like a fake GNB, and you have the secrets, you have been able to get the secrets, you can actually also fake the accesses. I mean, you can act like a fake base station, like a fake GNB, in order, for example, to look at the communication between the clients in quotes, and the network. I mean, and the internet. So yeah. Something else there, so there was also some SQL injection in here. There was like leaked passwords. There was like, plenty of things that we have. So, but in this article, I have also been mentioning some accesses that were interesting. But these accesses, we couldn't get these accesses very, I mean, in the remaining time, because we got only like 24 hours to do the challenge. So actually we couldn't get into that from the outside completely. So we use the SSH access from the organizer in order to get access to the NRF to the NRF function. And the NRF is very cool, because actually it is acting like, a DNS server, or can be also be seen as an LDAP server actually. And also with this kind of service, you don't need a specific, by default, you don't need to authenticate to it yourself. You can add like some notification in here. So you can also use auth to do that. But yeah, by default, this is not enforced. So what could be also interesting also by intruding the network is also using the NRF to get some information about the other functions that are used in this network. So this is also something that I will show you in here with more details, because it is quite cool. And I will also introduce a tool that I have made for Burp suit in order to perform also your assessments. And you will see that, it's pretty much like, doing like a simple. It's pretty much like doing like a web pen test. All right, so let's play. So to illustrate that, I will just like, show you how we can perform some assessments against a project called Free 5G C. But it will be like, the same case for every, even commercial products as well. So let's see that in a VM in here, and we will just like go to the terminal. Sorry, the terminal in here. We'll also launch the free 5G in here, free 5GC, which is already installed. I will just like make sure that also I can log in as root like that. Perfect. So I will not be asked then. So I will also make sure that everything, also every task, every process is killed properly. Because I don't know, actually, maybe I was like playing with it previously, and then I'm running everything, and like that I can continue. But we have to remember that a lot of things change on the 5GC, because actually you will not have like some weird network protocols like some HTTP protocols that are just like send from a server to another in order, for example, to just like register a user, or just like try to get some information, etc., to reach a DB. Everything was changed using a RESTful API, and this RESTful API is documented. You can actually look at that. There's like a nice project in GitHub, which will also give you a lot of information about how you can use it. And this is pretty cool, because actually, for example, they also provide in here, a Swagger. So in the Swagger, you can, for example, look at the different parts you can reach in here. So for example, if you want to reach the NRF, something that could be interesting is how we can also do some discovery, right? So we'll just like, use some get request, for example. There's also some other requests we can do. We can also see that, for example, there's like some required argument that we have to provide in our requests. So this Swagger is pretty handy, because it shows you also the core request that you can perform in order to reach the NRF, for example, or other endpoints that you have, for example, discovered in your network. But it can be like, a little bit painful to just provide all this information to Burp, for example, because now we are facing a web pen test, right? So if we want, for example, to continue, we can just like, for example, go to Burp. At Burp, there's like a plugin that you can download, for example, officially into Burp, and this plugin gives you also the way to forge exactly the right request with the right targets. Okay, to continue, let's maybe just see what is the IP address also that is used in this machine. So we'll just like copy that, like that, and then maybe use like a nmap in order and map like that in order to see what we got in here. So let's do like a little scan, and our scan will just like use the thousands famous ports in order to see if there's like one port that is open. Of course, you can also provide maybe all the ports, but yeah, mostly you will see that the port 22 is open and also port 8000, which is the port that is interesting for us. So let's maybe go to the burp plugin that I have also developed in here. So this burp plugin is a plugin that you can actually get in the burp store. And so to use this plugin, um, you can provide, for example, the IP address in here, the endpoint. So the endpoint will be just like that. The port will be 8000, right? And then we have to provide one of the YAML file in order to make some request. So let's make, for example, a request. So we just like click to select file, and then after select file, you will have also a small pop-up like that, where you can just like look on the YAML file responsible for discovery, for example. So let's go to now parse GPP OpenAPI file, and like that you will have like some nice request, right? So then you can then send all the requests to the repeater. So we do that, and we can just like maybe eliminate some because it will be like a mess after. Yeah, this plugin is not perfect, but you know, it is just the beginning. Also, it was maybe like my first burp plugin, so yeah, don't complain a lot about this. I mean, I know this is like, you know, just the first version. So yeah, there's like plenty of parameters that are already provided with the right verb, and you see that, for example, in here there's like some parameters that are required. So to require for these parameters, what we'll do is that we will actually also just like remove that because it is not required. We will also remove that because, I mean, we don't need it. And then we can just, for example, specify one of the function we want also to discover. So let's maybe just like look at the AMF. So let's go to the AMF, send it. Oh yeah, there's also a thing is that maybe I had also maybe enabled the HTTPS. So let's maybe just like now and that, and you can see that, for example, we have been able to get the instance ID of the AMF, but there's also plenty of instance, right? I mean, you can also create some instance yourself. And so once you have like an instance ID, you can take this instance ID, for example, and you can mess with it. And there's like some other things you can do. For example, if you go back to the Swagger and you see there's like a NF management. NF management actually gives you the opportunity to mess with it. We can patch, for example, I mean, you can delete also an instance. So that means that you can also do like a denial of service like that. You can also, for example, just like you can hijack a function, so you can provide your own function like that, and providing your own function, you can, for example, let's maybe just like if you if you if you just like enters, you just like go back, for example, to the schema that I did in here. So in here, so you can probably just like also mess a little bit with the UGM in here, and you are just like messing with the UGM. You can at some point also get I mean, sniff for some process while the user is registering to the network. So like that, you can also forward your own secrets, and you can also inspect for the secrets that are exchanged between the user and the network. So yeah, you can actually hijack some function in here, which is quite of cool. And to do that, I mean, there's you can once again go back in here. You can just like select file. You can then wait for it. I will just like give you the pop-up like that. You can then go to management. Where is it? Yeah, there's like plenty of files. Management. Yeah, maybe in the next versions I will just like classify all that. It will be like simpler. management like that. And then you can just like parse them. So it will also give you other things in here. I will just like maybe just like clear all of that. So it will be like clearer for me. So I have like some subscription collection in here. I will send it to the repeater. And once I add that, for example, actually I can just like, I can now request for an instant ID. So to do this work, you just like provide this instance ID to the requests we have seen. So second and type, right? You can just like provide this information in here. So there's like plenty of things that you can actually do. So let's just get some information in here. Oh, I don't know why the SSL is in here. Ports. Ah, yeah, maybe because I've been using the HTTPS. Sorry for that. I could also just get rid of it. So yeah, if you don't use HTTPS, it will not be detected as using HTTPS at all. So yeah, so you can send the request like that, and then you can have like some information, and with that you can just like copy all of that. For example, that, and if you want to patch everything, you can patch it. I mean, let's see. We can do that. So NF instance patch will not patch because the patch, I mean, doesn't work like pretty much, but the patch is actually really helpful. I don't know with patch what is going on, but maybe I'm still missing something. But yeah, let's see. So yeah, let's maybe just change the AMF ID. So I will just like also provide the NF instance ID in the parameters in here, like that. And in the body, I will just like ID change coffee to, I will cafe to coffee. Coffee. Let's see. Sorry for that. I don't know why. Yeah. All right. And if you have like the exact the response of that, it means that everything was changed. You can also then just like inspect about your change like that by doing like a get request once again. And let's see, you have been able to change the AMF ID. You can also, like for example, change the API prefix, the API IPv4 address to be used. So like that, for example, if we just like go back to the schema. So if you remember, for example, what we got in the past, we got, for example, that NRF, which, for example, allows us to get some more information, and we can poison all of that, for example, by providing our own UDM. So we can just like, sorry for that. I will maybe just like make it like a little bit more presentable. If I can UDM, so it will be like take UDM like that. So we can replace that and just be part of the bus. And this actual server will be just this server will be, for example, outside. It will be like in another server. Like for example, you can use I don't know. You can use any mutual server you want. With a fake UDM, and like that you can just like inspect on the exchange between the UE in here and the network, because actually on the UE will just like request some stuff. I mean, it will register, for example, to the network. It will also ask to the fake UDM what is going on, and as you have like for example faked UDM, you can just like then contact the right UDM in order to exchange the information, the right information, and you can just like inspect what is going on. So actually you just like, you will create a link between the real UDM and your fake UDM, and you will forward the secrets, and you will also inspect what is going on. And there's like a lot of interesting attacks to do. So yeah, so that was it for this session. I hope it was like not too long, but yeah, it provided maybe you some other clues on the presentation I did, and also on the writing, and also like that you can also see how you can, for example, do the work yourself by just like, for example, installing a free 5GC environment, open 5G environment as well, and you can play with that. If you want to learn more about that, I'm providing also a training where I will just give you access to a real 5G network, SA and NSA, and also some targets, and also a 5G core networks in order to play with that. So yeah, if you are interested about that, you can go to Advanced Security Training. So this is the platform where I will first give this training, and also you can check, for example, for the summary to see what you will expect in this training. So in this training, you will do like some fingerprinting, we'll also manipulate some secrets, analyze the communication, and then we will particularly work with the 5G core network. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and also see you later for other videos. So yeah, if I'm not back before Christmas, have a nice Christmas, and then you will probably see a video just before the New Year. So thank you very much, guys, and see you later. Bye.